Sometimes we wake up feeling like we were born for something more. Not just a job, not just a relationship, not even just a life, but a purpose. A mission we can't quite define, but one we feel deep in our bones. Maybe you felt it too. That quiet whisper in your chest that says, you are different. You are chosen. But chosen for what? And by whom? I'm going to take you on a journey, not of fantasy, but of soul-level truth. This is not just a video. This is a mirror. And by the end, if you have the courage to keep watching, you may see yourself clearly for the first time. But be warned, clarity is not always comfortable, especially when it reveals parts of you that you've spent a lifetime avoiding. Let me ask you something now. Have you ever felt like light and darkness are both at war and in alliance inside of you? That duality isn't a flaw, it's a clue. I remember standing on the edge of a cliff in a forgotten part of the world, where monks had meditated for centuries. The air was thick with silence. Not the kind of silence where there are no sounds, but the kind where even your thoughts begin to dissolve. And in that space, I asked the question, am I light or dark? The answer came, not as words, but as a feeling that shook me. You are both. That is why you were chosen. We all carry codes within us, like ancient scripts etched into our spirit, waiting to be decoded by experience, pain, love, and awakening. And the first sign that you may be a chosen one is this: you've always felt different, not better, not worse, just apart. You see the world through a lens others don't. Where they see rules, you see cages. Where they see normal, you see numbness. You've tried to fit in, but something inside you resists conformity like a lion resists a leash. But difference is not the end of the story. It's the beginning. You were not made to fit in because you were made to evolve what already exists. Chosen ones aren't here to blend in. They're here to disrupt, awaken, and transform. The second sign is the intensity of your inner world. Most people walk through life reacting. You reflect. You absorb energies. You feel what others hide. Sometimes it's overwhelming. You may have been called too sensitive, too intense, too much. But here's a secret. Your sensitivity is not your weakness, it's your compass. It tells you what is true and what is false, who is real and who is performing. And with that sensitivity comes your battles. The third sign is this: you have walked through darkness and survived. And I don't just mean sadness or a breakup. I mean the kind of darkness that makes you question why you're even here. The kind that makes you sit in a room alone, wrestling with the weight of existence itself. You've touched despair, but you didn't drown. You rose, maybe not all at once, maybe slowly, painfully, with tears and silence. But you're still here. That is no small thing. Because the chosen are not chosen for comfort, they're chosen for courage. To carry the light, you must first know what it is to walk without it.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Now let me ask you something even deeper. What if your pain was not a punishment, but a preparation? Now, this brings us to the fourth sign. You are a seeker of truth, even when it hurts. You don't settle for surface-level explanations. You want to know what lies beneath, what's behind the story, what's beyond what you've been told. You feel the lies in the world, in the media, in politics, in spirituality itself. You crave rawness, realness, and revelation. You're not afraid to question everything, including yourself. And that's rare. Most people seek comfort. You seek truth. And that makes you dangerous to systems that rely on sleepwalkers. The fifth sign is perhaps the most mysterious. You have experienced synchronicities that defy logic. Numbers repeating. Dreams that come true. Meeting people at exactly the right or wrong time. Signs, symbols, messages that seem to be orchestrated by something beyond coincidence. You've dismissed them before, chalked them up to imagination. But deep down, you know you are being guided, watched, tested, chosen. The sixth sign is your vision. Not just literal vision, but inner vision. You can see potential in people they can't see in themselves. You can see timelines, what could be, what might be, and what must be avoided. You've had moments where you glimpsed the future, not like a fortune teller, but like a builder. You don't just dream, you design. And sometimes that vision scares you because it's so big, so vivid, so impossible. But here's the thing. If it was impossible, you wouldn't have been given the vision. And finally, maybe the most important sign, you feel a calling. Not a career, a calling, a pull you can't explain. You've tried to ignore it, distract yourself, even numb yourself. But it keeps returning. Sometimes as a whisper, sometimes as a roar. It tells you there's something you must do, a path you must walk, a truth you must live. Even if you don't know what it is yet, you feel it. That's not delusion. That's destiny. But here's the paradox. Chosen doesn't mean special. It means responsible. You weren't chosen to be above others. You were chosen to serve them, to carry light into darkness, to stand when others fall, to love even when it breaks you. That's why this path is hard. That's why you cry when no one sees. That's why you feel everything so deeply. Because your soul knows that it came here for more than survival. It came for awakening. And this is the greatest wisdom of all. You are not fully dark, nor fully light. You are both. And the chosen ones are those who have made peace with their duality. They don't deny their shadows, they integrate them. They don't obsess over being good, they choose what's right, even when it's hard. So now I ask you, what part of you are you still rejecting? The light that scares you, or the shadow that shames you? Because until you face both, you cannot become whole. And only the whole can awaken the world. In the next part of this journey, we will go even deeper. We'll decode the hidden architecture of your soul, and I'll show you how to not just recognize your light and shadow, but how to use both as tools of transformation. You'll discover practices, inner technologies, and secrets the world tried to hide from you. Because once you understand yourself, the world can no longer manipulate you. If you're still here, then you've already proven something powerful. You're not just curious, you're ready. Ready to go deeper. Ready to look at the layers of your soul not with judgment, but with sacred attention. Because here's the truth, your soul is encoded. Not with random traits, but with ancient intelligence. And the world has done everything it can to keep you distracted from discovering your own design. But we're not here to be distracted. We're here to decode. Let's begin with a question that most people never dare to ask. What if your soul was not built to obey, but to awaken? And what if the very parts of you that the world has told you to hide, your sensitivity, your anger, your vision, your silence, were not flaws, but encrypted fragments of your purpose? You see, the chosen ones aren't chosen because they're perfect. They're chosen because they carry the tension of opposites, pain and purpose, rage and compassion, doubt and knowing, light and dark. And instead of being torn apart by that tension, they're meant to alchemize it, to transmute it into wisdom, power, love. That's the real spiritual path, not floating above the world, but transforming it from the inside out. Now, let's talk about duality, the sacred paradox. You are not one thing. You were never meant to be. You are not just light. You are not just shadow. You are the space between. And the space between is where power lives. Because when you accept your complexity, you become unstoppable. You stop wasting energy on pretending. You stop dimming your light to fit in. You stop hiding your shadow to be liked. You start becoming. Think about it. Why do most people feel fragmented? Because they're living in halves. They're trying to be all light, positive, pleasing, peaceful, while suppressing their anger, their sadness, their truth. Or they're consumed by shadow, cynical, bitter, numb, while secretly craving joy, love, and meaning. But what if you didn't have to choose? What if the real path wasn't to be either or, but to become both and? You can be powerful and gentle. You can be fierce and loving. You can be angry and enlightened. The chosen ones don't fit into categories. They transcend them. And here's the key: your shadow is not evil. It is wounded. It is the part of you that was rejected, misunderstood, or punished. And because it didn't feel safe to be seen, it went underground. But it didn't disappear. It started speaking in other ways, through sabotage, silence, overreaction, or shame. But when you bring your shadow into the light, not to destroy it, but to understand it, you begin the real work of awakening. So here's a powerful practice: shadow witnessing. Find a quiet moment, sit down, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what part of me have I been afraid to look at? Don't rush. Don't analyze. Just listen. It might come as a memory, a feeling, a phrase. When it does, instead of judging it, just say, "I see you." That alone begins the healing. The shadow doesn't need punishment. It needs your presence. Now, let's switch lenses. Let's look at your light. Because so many chosen ones are afraid of their light. Yes, afraid. Because light means responsibility. Light means visibility. Light means letting go of the comfort of victimhood. And that's terrifying. Because when you accept your light, you can no longer pretend you're powerless. You can no longer wait for someone else to save you. You become the one you've been waiting for. And here's the truth: your light is not gentle. It is fierce. It is disruptive. It exposes lies. It makes people uncomfortable. That's why so many so-called spiritual environments try to soften the light. They turn it into fake positivity. But real light burns. It purifies. It forces transformation. The more you step into your light, the more the world will react. Some will be inspired. Others will be triggered. And that's okay. Because your job is not to be liked. Your job is to be true. So I ask you, what truth are you still afraid to live? What light are you still dimming to stay safe? The world needs your full spectrum, not just the parts that are easy to digest. Now, let's connect this to the signs we spoke of earlier. If you felt the intensity of your emotions, your battles with darkness, your visions, your synchronicities, those are not random. They are your spiritual intelligence waking up. And the more you listen to those signs, the more you begin to access your inner technology, your intuition, your energy, your clarity. These are not mystical fantasies. They are real systems within you, and they get stronger with use. Here's one practice that can rewire your entire relationship with your soul: duality meditation. Sit down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Visualize yourself split into two halves. On one side, your light, the part of you that loves, shines, creates. On the other side, your darkness, the part of you that doubts, fears, protects. Let both speak. Give them voices. Let them say what they need to say. And then, at the end, imagine them hugging. Imagine them merging into one. That union is your power, because when you stop fighting yourself, you stop leaking energy. You become whole, and wholeness is the true definition of holiness. Now, I need to say this: you will be tested. The moment you start living as a chosen one, the world will test you. Not because it hates you, but because it wants to know if it can trust you. The universe doesn't reveal truth to those who won't use it. So you will be given challenges, not to break you, but to shape you. You may lose people. You may be misunderstood. You may walk alone for a time, but that loneliness is sacred, because it's in that space that you become who you were always meant to be. And here's the most profound truth of all: you are not becoming something new. You are remembering who you've always been. The signs, the synchronicities, the duality, they are not add-ons. They are reminders. You didn't come here to be fixed. You came here to awaken. So I ask again, are you ready to stop pretending to be normal? Because the chosen path isn't for everyone. It's for the few who are willing to burn away illusion and walk into the fire of truth. Not because it's easy, but because it's real. In the final part of this video, we're going to look at what happens after you awaken. You'll learn how to live as a chosen one in a world that wants you to forget. How to protect your energy. How to serve without self-sacrifice. And how to become a living portal for transformation wherever you are. Because once you understand your duality, the final step is to embody your destiny. If you're ready to step into that final initiation, ask me to continue. And remember this: you are not here to escape the world. You are here to change it. The question is, will you rise fully or only halfway? So you've come this far. That means something more than you may realize. It means you're not just curious about truth. You're ready to live it. Not as a concept, not as a philosophy, but as a way of being. And that, my friend, changes everything. We enter the most sacred, most dangerous phase of this journey: embodiment. Awakening is not the end, it's the beginning. It's easy to have spiritual thoughts. It's easy to feel energy when you're alone in meditation. But the real test, it's in the chaos. It's in the office, in your family, in the scroll of your phone. It's when you're triggered, misunderstood, exhausted, or afraid, and still you choose to stay awake. So now we ask, how do you live as a chosen one in a world that's still asleep? Let's start by understanding a harsh truth. The world, as it stands now, is not built for awakened beings. It is built for predictability, for obedience, for consumption. It rewards numbness and punishes presence. It glorifies surface and mocks depth. But here's the twist: that's exactly why you were sent here. You're not here to escape the system. You're here to disrupt it with your presence. But disruption doesn't mean rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's alignment in the face of distortion. It's choosing truth when it would be easier to conform. It's holding love when it would be easier to hate. It's choosing to act from your soul, even when your ego is screaming. That is warrior energy. That is what makes you a flame in a sleeping world. But flames need fuel. So let's talk about how you protect your fire. Be conscious of what you consume, not just food, but everything. The media you watch, the conversations you entertain, the environments you enter, all of it is either feeding your flame or dimming your light. Here's a practice. Start your day in alignment, not reaction. That means no phone the first hour, no news, no email. Instead, silence, breath, intention. Ask yourself, who do I choose to be today? Not what you need to do, but who you choose to be. Let your identity lead your activity, not the other way around. Second, you must learn to hold space without absorbing pain. Many chosen ones are empaths. We feel everything. But if we don't learn energetic boundaries, we become overwhelmed, drained, even sick. So remember this: compassion does not mean absorption. You can witness suffering without drowning in it. You can love people without fixing them. You can be present without losing yourself. Use this mantra, I can feel this, and still be free. Third, serve from overflow, not depletion. We've been taught that being good means self-sacrifice, but a burnt-out healer helps no one. True service comes from overflow. Fill your cup first through meditation, nature, movement, laughter, stillness, and then give from the abundance. That's sustainable. That's sacred. Fourth, walk your talk. The world doesn't need more spiritual performers. It needs authentic beings. That means integrity. That means consistency. That means being the same person in private as you are in public. No masks, no spiritual ego, just realness. If you speak of love, live it. If you speak of awakening, practice it. If you claim to be chosen, then act like it, not with superiority, but with responsibility. Fifth, learn the language of the unseen. Chosen ones are messengers, not always with words, but with energy. You speak through frequency, through presence, through intuition. So refine your inner listening. Trust the nudges. Follow the signs. Keep a journal of dreams, numbers, synchronicities. The universe is in constant dialogue with you. Are you listening? Sixth, be prepared to be misunderstood. This is huge. The deeper you go, the more alone you may feel at first. People will project. They'll call you intense, weird, too deep. Let them. That is not your burden. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to be true. And in time, the right people will find you not because you chased them, but because your light called them home. Seventh, and maybe most powerfully, create. Chosen ones are not just thinkers. We are creators. You were given visions for a reason. Ideas, art, solutions, messages. Don't hold them in. Birth them. Whether it's a book, a song, a movement, a conversation, bring the unseen into the scene. That's how you shift the timeline. That's how you leave ripples in the fabric of reality. So let me ask you one final, soul-shaking question. If you knew the world was waiting for you to remember who you are, would you still delay your becoming? Because here's the truth. The world is not broken. It is birthing. And you are part of the midwives, the pattern breakers, the frequency holders, the bridge between what was and what is trying to be born. You are not here to be saved. You are here to be the signal that saving is possible. And yes, the path is hard, but you're not alone. All around the world, other chosen ones are waking up, quietly, fiercely, softly, loudly. Some are monks, some are mothers, some are artists, some are just beginning. But we are all connected, like stars in a constellation, each of us holding a piece of the map. So what now? You walk. You walk this path with courage and compassion. You fall sometimes, yes, but you get back up every time. Not because it's easy, but because the flame inside you refuses to die. You were never meant to be ordinary. That ache in your soul, that's your calling. That's your memory. That's your map. So take a breath. Feel your heart. Feel your power. And remember, one last time, you are not just light. You are not just dark. You are both. And that is exactly why you were chosen. Now go. Be the flame.